Welcome back to the channel, and this morning we're out here on a gravel road and just look at the display of autumn color behind me. This is about, I would say that on this road this is the height of the color season, and I'm going to get started on a painting. It's before 8 in the morning. It's morning light out here this morning, and I've been driving up and down these roads getting ready for the Fermentation Fest this year and the Farm Art Detour. So just have a look behind me. Beautiful color. I'm gonna go ahead and get my things set up. Beautiful sunshine this morning. Let's make a painting. All right, I really need to clean my palette. Just look at those. I haven't cleaned my palette for a couple months, but the first thing I'm going to do this morning is mix some big piles of paint. I'm going to mix the colors of the main masses that I'm going to use, and then from there I'm going to paint the main masses in, and after that I will go back in and redefine the main masses with a lot more color shifts. So I got my lay-in done. I was using some big brushes, and I really wanted to get some nice big chunky color on the canvas right away. A pretty quick lay-in, but I think the things are pretty accurate. I'm gonna keep moving on this thing and start to change everything that needs to be changed. Sorry, a car drove by. I'm going to work into my large and bold underpainting. I'm going to change all the things that I feel like are going to change on me the quickest this morning. Like the shadow up in this side, I want to state that, and I want to state some of the light. These shadows are going to move quickly, and I have to also work quickly to try and capture them. So that's the next step that I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of make sure that I have my light and shadow pattern where I want it to be. Already on the canvas I can see some good things, so I'm going to keep it going. One of the main things that I wanted to paint right away before it changed was this long shadow that's being cast across the foreground of the painting. And so I've got that area painted in. Now I'm starting to work up into this area, the transition where the lit parts of the forest meets the parts of the forest that are in shadow. I want to build that up, and then a lot of this stuff in the background is probably going to be one of the last things that I paint this morning. So I've got the foreground done. Let's keep moving. Pro camera is gonna die. All I have to do is finish off the sky and a couple other things, but you guys, thanks for sticking with me. I'm digging where this painting is at. I appreciate you guys checking out this video, but let's have one last look at this painting. The sun is setting quickly tonight, but I made it out for another painting. You can see right behind me I have a beautiful autumn tree, and I am going to paint that. This is where I took the painting to this evening. I left the house about an hour ago, and I was originally going to paint a forest that's just down the street from my house. There's a lot of red trees, and of course the oranges and golds and yellows and all those colors. I drove past, and something was telling me to paint a backlit scene today. That scene that I was looking at would have been really complex, and I only ended up with about an hour or maybe even a little less of light. And so I just thought to myself, I should find something backlit. Well, I drove past this scene with the blue house and the orange tree, and that's the thing that originally drew me to the scene. I was happy that I had that foresight to know to paint something backlit tonight. And also another thing about these houses is that this house right behind me, a classmate of mine actually grew up in that house, and they had since sold it. Her parents had since sold it, and I met the gentleman who owns it now, and this house flooded really bad 2 years ago. It was the same time that my house flooded. The Baraboo River is right there, and you can see it's not too far away. So when the water levels were rising, that house got flooded. It's now condemned, and it's going to be knocked down. And I always thought that that was kind of a neat house to have in Rock Springs. It's definitely one of the bigger houses in Rock Springs, and in this neighborhood at least, it's really a staple of the street. This whole area behind me used to be houses, and a lot of those got knocked down in the terrible flood that happened in 2008. So we've had some... That's like lions and tigers roaring from the big cat rescue that's a couple miles that way. Anyway, a lot of these houses aren't going to be here forever, but now I can write on the back that this was Rock Springs, and maybe somebody down through the years is going to see this and think, oh, I remember when Rock Springs used to have houses. People used to come to Rock Springs every Friday and Saturday night. In Wisconsin, they like to have fish fries on Friday night, and they also served a prime rib dinner on Saturday night. But all that's gone now. And Rock Springs, it seems kind of cool to think that on a Friday night, it's Friday night right now, there would be a real buzz going on down there. Maybe there'd be a band playing or something like that. But today, there's no more of that. It's all flooded out, and all the businesses are closed besides the gas station. But this is where I live, and it's kind of a town that has a really cool history to it. My family is from here on my mom's side, and I'm proud to live out here. See you guys anyway. Thanks so much. Check this tree out. All right, have a good night. We'll do this again soon.